Hey everyone, it's Michael. Today we're going to be talking about another Give Yourself Goosebumps book. This is a Give Yourself Goosebumps number 3, special edition number 3 actually. Not just number 3, but special edition number 3, Trapped in the Circus of Fear. This is one of the easier to find Goosebumps, Give Yourself Goosebumps special edition books, and yet it is one of the more fun books ever from Goosebumps. I don't know what it is about Give Yourself Goosebumps. It's just so creative. I don't even care if it is true that R.L. Stine didn't write these. It doesn't matter to me. These are so much fun, guys. You really should check them out if you get a chance. This particular book, of course, deals with the circus. And it's kind of cool how this one's a little bit different from other Give Yourself Goosebumps books that I've read so far. Excuse me. I still have kind of a cold. I'm still coughing and stuff. In this particular book, when you first open up the book, it actually tells you to pick out, like 3 items out of like 6 or 7 different things, like bananas and your pet snake, whatever his name is, Toby or something. Different things that can help you throughout the story, kind of like a video game almost, like when you pick what character you want, and they have all different strengths and, weaknesses and all that. It's kind of the same concept, and of course I always try to read every single part of the book and get all of the endings and everything in order. This one has so many options. I'm not even kidding. This book you can be reading and have a page that'll tell you to choose your own next direction you go in the story, and you'll have like 3 or 4 different options to pick from. So I had like 8 different bookmarks marking my previous place of where I wanted to make the next choice at when I went back after I finished a current storyline that I was reading through. So it got kind of hectic having like 8 bookmarks inside of the book. I know it couldn't have been good for the spine of the actual book itself, but that's a good copy that I got. I was really thankful to get that in the mail sometime recently. But this one's all about the circus. Basically, you and your friend Richie have recently done a week of circus camp, a circus school type thing. And you've been invited to be a part of this particular circus performance. And literally, as soon as you start your day there, you're being told to stand in front of a board and have knives thrown at you. And you're not cool with that, so you want to get out of the way. And it sparks this whole big thing, like a big old controversy in the circus, where the ringleader, Mistress Barbarous, I think is her name. It's like Barbara, but with O-U-S at the end. I can't tell if it's supposed to be Barbaro, like a French name, or just Barbarous. So I'm just going to call it Barbarous. She is one of the best villains from Goosebumps. Not because of any power or anything like that, but just she's intimidating. She's written in a very different way from a lot of Goosebumps villains, just out of the random. Like, this is a one-time thing I think we ever got her. I don't think she's in any other Goosebumps books as far as I know, but she was really fun to read. There are some side characters in here. Of course, as adventurous as the story is, what would it be to have a circus book and not have a little chubby, short friend who happens to be a clown? Mr. Peepers. Mr. Peepers is such a fantastic character. I love Mr. Peepers. I wish he was in this book more. You have another villain in this book called Georg the Clown, like G-E-Y-O-R-G, something like that. And he's terrifying. He has like stretchy arms that stretch out, kind of like that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. There is some genuinely eerie stuff in here, and there may or may not be kids that are being kidnapped, that are being turned into like monsters and freaks and whatnot to be in the circus itself. And Mistress Barbarous, or whatever her name is, wants you and Richie to be part of this too, or possibly be killed as an attraction, I guess. This book was immensely fun. It was a really hectic read because of all the different things you had to have. I'm not even sure if you could start with a certain amount of, like objects that you're supposed to pick at the beginning of the book. I'm not even sure you could get the right ones and not have to struggle your way through the whole story. I don't know. It's really weird. There's one time in the book, too, that it tells you to basically, like, you don't get an ending. It just tells you to go back and pick 3 new items, and it doesn't tell you to turn to anywhere else in the book to continue your adventure. It doesn't do that, so I thought that was kind of weird at that one point. But pretty much the same thing I've said about all the other Give Yourself Goosebumps books I have read, the last 2 or 3 that I've read. I think I've only read 2 other ones outside of this one. Those were all, most of the time the endings were pretty much always satisfying in some way, shape, or form. I think there might have been like 1 or 2 per book that wasn't that satisfying. But here, there's only like 1 or 2 as well, maybe 3, that aren't the most satisfying endings. But the story itself, man, it goes on and on and on, and it gets real tense at times. There are times I'm like, I don't know how to figure out this situation. There are times that you will pick the common sense answer on what to do in this situation, and you can still lose. You know, you'll pick the common sense answer, do the right thing that you think you should do to get out of a situation, and you'll die, and it'll be the end, and you'll have to start all over again from the last checkpoint, if you want to call it that in video game terminology. But I had a really good time reading this. I really do recommend this particular book. For a special edition book, this is my first of the special edition Give Yourself Goosebumps books that I've actually read. I own pretty much all of them now. I'm trying to get around to reading, to buying the last one that I need. But I'm having a really good time reading these. I'm having a great time, actually. I do recommend them, especially the special edition book. This particular one was a lot of fun. I had a great time with this. Again, the Give Yourself Goosebumps books are very much like a choose-your-own-adventure type book from the 70s and 80s. They're fun, man. I recommend them tremendously. These are really enjoyable and really, really creative. I think these are some of the most creative Goosebumps books I've ever read in my life. And they add this new kind of terror to it, depending on what you're reading. Like the last one I read was called Escape from Camp Run for Your Life, and it was genuinely scary. I mean, it just was. This one wasn't as scary as that, but it was still scary. This had moments in it where I'm like, wow, that's a pretty tense situation. Has some eerie stuff in here like Georg. Georg is something to look out for. But this was really adventurous to be like a small frame story inside of a tent almost always with the circus and everything. And it was fun. I had a really good time reading it. There's a lot of wild, silly stuff in here. Stuff that would be like kind of like that title of that one book about the peanut butter or the jelly sandwich. Whatever that one Give Yourself Goosebumps book is that talks about that. It's kind of silly along those lines. You know, like there's a jar that Mistress Barbarous wants to put you inside of that has like this gel, and you'd be stuck in there for like the rest of your life. You know, it's just really weird stuff, man. But really fun. It doesn't matter how bizarre and weird it got. It was still really cool, really silly and fun. I had a great time reading this book. When it comes to Give Yourself Goosebumps Special Edition number 3, which I'm going to try to put in the title above, just to be sure that everybody knows this is not just book number 3, Trapped in the Circus of Fear. I really like this. I definitely recommend it, easily. I recommend the Give Yourself Goosebumps books anyway, from what I've read of these, as many as there are. But I do recommend this tremendously. This is a really good one. It's not as good as the last one I read, Escape from Camp Run for Your Life. That was way better in my opinion, but this is good. This is really good, actually. If I had to rate this book on a 5-star basis, I'd give this a 4 out of 5 stars easily. It might be more closer to a 5, but I would still keep it at the 4 out of 5. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this. This is really unique, having the chance to choose out your options on what items and stuff you wanted to take on your adventure. There are times that if you don't have the item, you will die a horrible death. And it's not like it just doesn't show you anything. It tells what happens to you. The biggest majority of the time, it does. There's a couple other kind of cop-outs that are just like, oh, you have no idea what happened to you. But a lot of the time, it's not afraid to get pretty horrific, especially with the lions. There are lions in circuses, and there's lions in this book, and they're pretty dangerous. Anyway, when it comes to this book, 4 out of 5 stars for me. I really, really dug this. What did you guys think about the Circus of the Fear? Or Trapped in the Circus of Fear? The Circus is a Fear. What is that supposed to mean? Put your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I'm sick once again with my throat still needing to cough and everything throughout the video. Hopefully by the next time I get a review for you guys, especially because I'm feeling a lot better today. My voice feels a lot better than it did last time I did some videos. Hopefully and prayerfully, I will feel a whole lot better, my voice will be a lot better, and the videos will be more clear and consistent without any coughing fits and stuff. Just for you guys. Anyway, thank you so much. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.